Hi, this is Paul Bentley from Lizard NDE. This is video 3. We have now adjusted the probe, we have taken a scan, we've made some small adjustments to the constant settings up here, and we've tweaked some of the zoom here, digital zoom, to make the signal a little bit clearer and a little bit easier to identify. So now I'm going to just quickly show you how to set the probe for sizing. This is the LP600 probe, and what we'd like to do is tell the system that this is a 2mm amplitude. So if I click into sizing, now the difference with the Lizard system as opposed to other systems on the market is that in order to generate the depth information from the data, we do not need to know the length of the defect. Now this is different to other AC field measurement suppliers. However, we are actually reading the amplitude of this signal. We are not basing any information for the depth from the length. So this being a calibration setup, all we're going to do is actually tell the system the amplitude is equal to 2mm. As if you remember, the video 1 showed me taking the scan over the LK100 functionality plates, the calibration plates. That has an EDM slots all of 2mm deep. So for the Lizard system, what we are going to do first is tell the system that the amplitude that we read when we scanned across the LK100 plate is actually the defects are 2mm deep. So to do that, we don't need to worry about this length section. We only need to worry about the depth. So it's very quick, very easy. On here we have a baseline. Now by clicking and dragging it with the left mouse button pressed, we fit the baseline to the 0. So if we know that there are 3 slots, 10mm long, 20mm long, 40mm long, each of these are 2mm deep. So what we are trying to do is set a baseline across the 0. Okay, let's say around there. Now I click this set baseline button. Okay, now I've told the system that that baseline is 0. Now, if I could just, the only part of the length that I'm using is just moving the start and end cursors so that when I click find peak, the system will put the cursor to the highest amplitude of signal between this start and end. This start and end is, we do not need to know the length of the defect in order to generate the depth. So now if I click find peak, you'll see this cursor jump to the highest position between the start and end cursors. Okay, up the top here, oh sorry, I just moved the baseline slightly. It doesn't matter because we've already set the baseline, so it hasn't affected anything down here. You'll see that it's giving me a depth of 1.2mm deep. Now we know that's wrong, so we need to set the constant and tell the system that actually the cursor is on a 2mm deep defect. Click OK. Now it asks me about length. We do not need to know anything about the length to perform this function, so we cancel. Now the system has recalculated and now tells me that the cursor is at a 2mm depth. I can now, this has generated for me a constant number, in this instance 415. This constant number is then used in the system's algorithms for future sizing operations using this probe. That is a very quick way of setting the depth sizing for the Lizard system.